If your brain were a computer, it would have more storage than Google, Facebook, and Netflix combined. And today, we're going to show you exactly how much data your brain can hold. Subscribe to explore what it's truly capable of. Neurons are able to communicate with each other by sending electrochemical signals across the gaps or synapses between them. It is estimated that there are around 100 trillion connections or synapses between these neurons. By storing bits of data in these synapses, your brain can process and transmit information quickly and efficiently. But first, here's your quote of the day. Your brain is bigger than the cloud. The Library of Congress has a collection of more than 170 million items, including books, photographs, manuscripts, films, maps, and music. All of this stuff takes up a lot of space, like a lot of space. You can store more information than the Library of Congress. You can store more information than all of the world's computers combined. So what does this mean for you? In fact, your brain is constantly forgetting things. You probably have gaps in your memory of events from your childhood. There's actually another benefit to having a brain that constantly forgets things. Turns out that this ability to forget things makes us more creative. Let that forgetfulness lead you to new insights and discoveries. So don't waste all that space. Subscribe and let's fill it with mind-expanding science. When we are constantly bombarded with new information, it can be difficult to come up with new ideas. Our brains are just too cluttered with all of the stuff that we've learned. But when we forget things, when we have gaps in our memories, it gives us the opportunity to come up with new ideas that wouldn't have occurred to us otherwise. This is why it's often said that you need to have a cluttered mind to be creative. Having a brain that constantly forgets things allows us to have those gaps in our memories that we need to be creative. And it's likely that some of your most important memories will eventually be lost. But the good news is that you can always learn new things and make new memories. So don't let the fact that your brain will eventually forget things hold you back. Embrace it. Learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. Well, for starters, it means that you don't need to worry about running out of space in your brain. Unlike a computer hard drive, your brain doesn't just fill up and then stop working. Instead, it rewrites old memories to make room for new ones. It prioritizes which memories to keep and which ones to forget. And it even actively works to erase memories that aren't important. So you never have to worry about accidentally deleting something important. The Library of Congress is housed in the largest building in the world. It covers nearly 90 acres, or 365,000 square meters. Unlike a computer file, your memories are stored in a distributed network of neurons. So it's very unlikely that any single neuron will be damaged and corrupt your memories. And even if one neuron is damaged, your brain can usually compensate by using other neurons to store that information. Finally, it means that you don't need to worry about your memories getting stolen. Unlike a computer hacker, no one can access your memories without your permission. Your memories are stored in your brain, literally inside of your head, so no one can get to them unless they have physical access to your brain. If you've stacked up all of the items in the collection, it would be taller than the Burj Khalifa, the Eiffel Tower, and the Great Wall of China. And even after all that, it would only take up a fraction of the space in your brain. Scientists are still working to fully understand how this organ works. Each gene can store information in the form of DNA. So if you wanted to add up the total storage capacity of your brain, you would have to include that as well. Researchers estimate that each gene can store about 1 gigabyte of information, which means that your genes could store another 700 terabytes of information. Adding that to the 800 petabytes of information stored in your synapses, we get a grand total of 800,700 terabytes of information.
Oh.
What they do know is that the brain stores information in the form of memories. We know that you already subscribed because your brain is bigger than the cloud. Okay, maybe you didn't subscribe yet, but when you do, we will be waiting for you. Anyway, a petabyte is equal to 1 million terabytes or 1 trillion gigabytes. So 800 petabytes is a lot of space? It's enough to store 300 years of high-definition video. Memories are basically just patterns of activity in the networks of neurons. So when you want to remember something, your brain basically just plays back that pattern of activity. But how much information can your brain store? Welcome to Life Noggin. Your brain is a complex network of roughly 86 billion neurons. Now, while we know that the brain is capable of some pretty wild things like controlling your heartbeat and making you hungry when you haven't eaten in a while, they started with the number of synapses in the brain, which we mentioned earlier, around 100 trillion. Then they considered the amount of information that could be stored in a single synapse. Now we know that not every synapse stores the same amount of information. Some can store more than others depending on the complexity of the information being stored and how it is being used. But for the purposes of this study, the researchers used an average of 8 bits of information per synapse. This gave them a total storage capacity of 800 petabytes. To answer this question, researchers at the University of California, San Diego, did a little bit of math. Now, if you're not familiar with petabytes, don't worry, we're not trying to show off. And if you're still scratching your head over those numbers, here's another way to look at it. But wait, there's more. In addition to the 100 trillion synapses in your brain, you also have around 70,000 genes. So just to recap, your brain can hold more information than Google, Facebook, and Netflix combined. It also means that you don't need to worry about your memories getting corrupted. But even though your brain can store a lot of information, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. But wait, there's more. So the next time you find yourself forgetting things, don't get frustrated. Embrace it. As always, this has been your host. Don't forget to keep on thinking.